The motto of the Foundation is unchanging: secure, contain, protect, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for as long as needed. There is, of course, a question of what is going to happen to the Foundation and others if the anomalies would cease to exist one day. This is Storynomicon, and today we are going to look at a peculiar tale, Quiet Days, which documents the fall of the anomalous. The tale is heavily packed with references to multiple SCPs, canons, and other things, so I will first read the tale verbatim, and then I will dive into the details. It was over. No one in the Foundation, from the lowest security guard to the O5 consul, could quite explain exactly what was over. If they were to hazard a guess, a likely answer would have been everything. It was generally agreed that the first one to notice was Dr. Viktor Balakirev. Dr. Balakirev, though a veteran of many a dangerous experiment and not one to be easily surprised, couldn't believe what his eyes, or rather his high-powered telescope, were telling him. What Dr. Balakirev couldn't quite believe was that a routine scan of the Crab Nebula revealed nothing but empty space, where a rather conspicuous and rather hateful star was supposed to be. The alarm was raised, a dozen more telescopes were commandeered from various facilities and agencies, and there was no small amount of shouting and running around. The star, however, stubbornly refused to reappear, despite Dr. Balakirev's insistent claims that a star isn't a bloody remote control, you don't just lose it. The next one to experience this strange lack of all things strange was D6821356, though he couldn't quite appreciate the magnitude of the occasion. He didn't know he was supposed to be the bait in what most assumed would be just another futile attempt in an endless series of failures. D6821356 also didn't quite know what to feel when he entered the armored vault to discover nothing more than a badly mangled skeleton when the acid base was stopped. So what do you guys want me to do with that? Do you have a bone to pick with me or something? Heh. The joke was lost on the assembled researchers, who now had more important things to worry about than D6821356 poor sense of humor. So began the end. When SCP-294 was prompted to produce a cup of joe, it made a serviceable cup of cappuccino, which utterly failed to contain any D-class flavoring. In SCP-1981, Ronald Reagan spoke only of evil empires and managed to keep a perfect complexion throughout his speech. SCP-902 was opened and discovered to be empty, and no one could quite remember why they feared it so much in the first place. SCP-076 was found to be similarly empty, though no one forgot what scared them about it. When SCP-1867 was asked if it realized it was a slug, it didn't think for a second to object, since it very clearly was. Besides, it didn't understand the question. SCP-085 was gone from its canvas, and its inky plains and fields felt bare and empty without the presence of the young woman who once inhabited them. They found the clothes which once belonged to SCP-1440 near the top of the Mount Everest. Next to them, a single word was written in the snow: free. Around the world, the echoes of the end became seismic shocks, and no one was spared from their influence. The Church of the Broken God was wiped off the face of the earth. It isn't easy to maintain a working religious organization when all of your artifacts crumble to dust. And it's even more difficult to do so when half of those artifacts are inside your head. Marshall, Carter and Dark Limited, having lost most of their stocks and shortly after most of their members, soon faded into obscurity. Their once busy clubhouse, a hub for all things mysterious and expensive, became a place for elderly gentlemen to read the Sunday paper in peace and those in comfortable leather chairs. The Global Account Coalition, after it became clear that the threats it was created to thwart were gone, was soon disbanded. The budget once dedicated to fighting the forces of the unknown was allocated to some of humanity's more mundane needs, such as the prevention of global warming and the development of more advanced nuclear weapons. No word was heard from Dr. Wondertainment for a long time. A year after the end, a new line of Dr. Wondertainment toys was released. While Dr. Wondertainment's Shooty Man's Vengeance was a perfectly decent game, it was clear her heart wasn't in it. When Foundation agents arrived at the current supposed location of the factory, they found nothing more than an ordinary canned vegetable factory. The capital F was clearly no longer needed. The Serpent's Hand had lost a considerable amount of its members, and with no cause to rally behind was destroyed by the Chaos Insurgency. The insurgency itself soon tore itself asunder like a mad dog biting at its own innards. Very few were left to be caught and executed by the Foundation. The members of Are We Cool Yet never did become cool. Nobody was never heard from again. The Unusual Incident Unit continued chasing flying saucers and reports of Bigfoot, this time entirely unrelated to SCP-1000. Its agents didn't really notice. The Foundation, as resilient as ever, was the last one standing. As the years passed, however, the reasons for its continued existence grew fewer and fewer. With all things anomalous gone, the Foundation has lost its purpose. Site after site was closed down. Personnel were let go or, in case of the few remaining D-class, terminated. Soon, only one part of the organization remained. It was the last meeting of the O5 Council. There were no heartfelt speeches or commemorative plaques, because even at its end, the O5 Council was a serious body of men and women who didn't muck about with nonsense. Instead, there were a few handshakes, a few quiet words, and mostly a whole lot of silence. Finally, one at a time, the former members began to leave, until only 2 were left. "So that's it, I suppose," said 054, rolling a cigarette. Smoking wasn't allowed in the boardroom, but there was no one left to object. Is it? Everything we worked for? All of our sacrifices just worthless?" asked 0511, staring glumly at the floor. "No, I wouldn't say that. We kept the peace while we were needed, and we did so as best we could. We're simply not needed anymore. Shouldn't I be happy? All of these terrible things we kept locked in are gone after all. Humanity is finally safe." "From everything but itself? Yes." "Then why do I feel like some toy used and abused and then discarded when it's no longer useful?" "It's just the way the things are. We were the jailers, the wardens holding back the storm. Now all of our prisoners are gone. There is no need for wardens in quiet days. Come on, let me buy you a drink." "Yeah, a drink could be nice, or 10. "Hey, I'm not made of money, you know." The 2 left and closed the door behind them. Okay, let's get into the details. A rather hateful star is SCP-1548, the star, the hateful. You may be confused by the fact that the current version of SCP-1548 is about our Sun, and not about a star in the Crab Nebula. The thing is, before a rewrite in 2018, SCP-1548 was indeed about the pulsar PSR B0531+21, located in the Crab Nebula, that was communicated threats to humanity in Morse code. You won't find the original article on the SCP Wiki though, but the Internet Wayback Machine keeps copies since 2012. Then the hard-to-destroy reptile was destroyed. D682-1356, likely assigned to termination attempt 1356, found nothing but a mangled skeleton in an acid bath. His number, of course, can also be a reference to SCP-1356, rubber ducky, a rubber duck that displaces water around it, but I will leave this connection for you to decide. Next, there is a SCP-284, a coffee vending machine that can produce anything requested, including liquid gold and a beverage made from real people, now producing boring cappuccino. Ronald Reagan's face is not cut and sliced in SCP-1981, which has become a simple video recording. SCP-902, a ticking box of ammunition making everyone mad with curiosity about its contents, is just empty. SCP-076, or to be more precise, SCP-0761, a black sarcophagus that once contained Abel, is empty as well. We also lose a lot of lovable but anomalous personas. SCP-1867, Lord Theodore Thomas Blackwood, both gentleman and slug, will tell no more stories. Now he is just a slug. SCP-085, Cassie, a hand-drawn girl who lived on canvas, has disappeared. The good news is that the SCP-1440, the old man from nowhere, is now free from his curse, which once caused rapid deterioration of any man-made object in his vicinity. Next comes the groups of interest and several anomalous entities. The Church of the Broken God can rebuild its deity, all the parts are now gone. Marshall, Carter and Dark Limited, once sellers of anomalies, has gone out of business. The Global Occult Coalition degraded with no anomalies left to fight. Doctor of Entertainment, known for producing anomalous toys, now is making perfectly normal games and does not seem very happy about it. The factory is just a factory now, and the Chaos Insurgency, which are covered in another story, is just a bunch of retired MTF agents without any goal of purpose. Even the artist collective known as Are We Cool Yet? Seems unable to produce any art without anomalous assistance. The tale also mentions a much forgotten group of interest, Nobody, saying that nobody was never heard from again. The Nobody is a mystical single-person group of interest who appears from time to time, sometimes to help the Foundation and sometimes to undermine it. There is a hub dedicated to this character titled The Man Who Wasn't There, if you're interested. Finally, the flying saucers and Bigfoot, not to be confused with the Children of the Night, were back. It seems that even without the anomalous, people still want to believe. That would be it. If you like the tale, I'm happy to inform you that there is a whole canon around it, called The World Kept Turning. Be sure to take a peek on the other tales. Until next time.